All right, let's talk about something we all love, chocolate. But today, we're going to unwrap a different kind of story. We're looking at a hidden danger that affects the very people who bring us this amazing treat.
I mean, who doesn't love it, right? It's our go-to comfort food, it's there for celebrations, it's just one of those simple pleasures. But here's the thing. While we're enjoying that final chocolate bar, the journey from the cocoa bean to us involves some real dangers that most of us never even think about.
And that hidden hazard? It's right there in the fields. To keep the cocoa crop healthy, farmers have to use agrochemicals, things like fungicides and insecticides. Now, these are powerful tools for sure, but they also carry some serious risks, not just for the environment, but for the health of the farmers themselves.
So let's break down what these risks actually are. The bottom line is, it all comes down to how these chemicals are handled. If you use them correctly, they do their job and protect the crop. But if they're misused, well, that's when things get incredibly dangerous.
And here's the really crucial part. Every single one of these agrochemicals has the potential to cause harm. The danger isn't just the substance in the bottle. It's about how you use it, how you store it, and how you get rid of the empty container. So, when is a farmer in the most danger? Well, mixing and loading the chemicals is a big one. I mean, that's when you're dealing with the stuff in its most concentrated, potent form. But honestly, the threat is there at every single step, from spraying to cleaning up to storing it, and even just getting rid of the empty bottles.
Okay, so we know when the risk is high. But how does this stuff actually get into your body and cause harm? Let's take a look at the pathways.
Basically, there are three main ways these chemicals can get you. First, through your mouth. That's ingestion. It can be totally accidental, like not washing your hands before you eat. Second, through your nose. Inhalation. Breathing in those chemical mists while spraying is a huge risk. But the number one most common way? Right through your skin. It's called absorption, and the chemicals can literally soak through your pores and get straight into your bloodstream.
And the effects of this exposure? They're devastating. We're not just talking about a little skin irritation here. This stuff is linked to some really, really serious life-changing conditions. Things like cancer, sterility, severe damage to your liver or kidneys, and even birth defects in a farmer's kids.
Now, what makes this so tricky is that the poisoning can show up in two very different ways. You've got acute exposure. That's a high dose in a short time, and it makes you sick right away. The problem? The symptoms often look just like the flu. Then there's chronic exposure. This one is even sneakier. It's from low doses over a really long time, and you might not get sick for years. By then, it's almost impossible to connect the illness back to the chemicals.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty scary, but the good news is there are totally effective ways for farmers to protect themselves. And the very first line of defense is simply understanding the information that's literally right in front of them.
And that is the label on the container. You have to think of this thing as your safety map. It's not just a suggestion, it's your guide. It tells you what's in there, how strong it is, exactly what safety gear you need to wear, and even what to do for first aid if something goes wrong. If you have a product with no label, don't touch it. It's a total mystery box of danger.
On that label, you'll also find a set of symbols. Think of them as a universal language of safety. These little pictures give you an instant heads up about the kind of danger you're dealing with, and knowing what they mean, it can literally save your life.
So let's run through a few key ones. See the skull and crossbones? That means toxic. We're talking fatal poison. The big X means it's harmful or an irritant. Basically, it's telling you to keep this stuff off your skin.
This one, with the liquid eating away at a hand, that's corrosive. It'll give you a nasty chemical burn. And the flame, well, that one's pretty obvious. It's flammable, so keep it away from any sparks or fire. Okay, so now that we can read the warnings, let's talk about the safety playbook, the actual gear and the best practices for staying safe.
And rule number one is personal protective equipment, or PPE. This stuff is absolutely non-negotiable. We're talking head-to-toe coverage. A hat, goggles for your eyes, a respirator for your lungs, an apron, gloves, long pants, and boots. Every single piece of that gear is a barrier between you and a chemical that could kill you.
And check this out. Here's a super simple but critical trick for wearing your gear the right way. It's the over, not under rule. Your pants go over your boots. Your long sleeves go over your gloves. Why? Think about it. This way, any chemical drips just run right off you. If you tuck them in, you're basically creating a funnel for poison to go right inside your boots and gloves, trapping it against your skin.
So beyond the gear, it's all about good habits.
This stuff is common sense, but it saves lives. Never ever eat, drink, or smoke while you're working with this stuff. Always check the wind direction so you're spraying away from yourself. And if a nozzle gets clogged, use a wire to clear it, not your mouth, and pay attention to the re-entry interval on the label. That's how long you have to stay out of the field after spraying. It is non-negotiable.
And here's something you have to know about your gear. Is your respirator disposable or reusable? Because your PPE is totally worthless if it isn't working right. Some respirators you just throw away after one use. Others have filter cartridges that you have to replace regularly. You've got to know which kind you have and when it's time to swap it out. It's your lungs on the line.
And look, the danger doesn't magically disappear once the spraying is finished. You've got to store these chemicals safely. That means in a locked room completely separate from the house. Never in the kitchen, never in a bedroom where kids could get to them. And those empty containers, they need to be disposed of properly. That means burying them in a deep pit far away from any wells or rivers.
This really says it all. You can't just rinse these containers out and use them for something else, like storing water or food. I mean, never. It is impossible to get them 100% clean. That invisible residue that's left behind, it can be absolutely lethal.
So in the end, it all comes down to a choice. Safety doesn't just happen by accident. For farmers, it's about choosing to use the right gear and follow the right steps every single time. And for the rest of us, it's about choosing to be aware of the real story behind the products we love, and maybe asking if the companies we buy from are doing enough to protect the people who make our chocolate possible.